Right now, inside a secure site in St. Louis, Missouri, Boeing crews are assembling something poised to reshape air combat for good. The F-47, America's first bona fide sixth-generation fighter. And it isn't a paper concept anymore. Production is already underway. In September 2025, the Air Force Chief of Staff said so on the record. Quiet test flights have run since 2019. Experimental demonstrators have racked up hundreds of hours. And China has just rolled out its 6th-gen fighters, too. The race is underway, and we're about to show you exactly what's at stake. Welcome to Tech of War. For years, the Next Generation Air Dominance program ranked among the Pentagon's most closely guarded projects. Hush talk in defense circles, closed-door briefings, and massive budgets hidden across line items. But now the curtain is coming up. The F-47 is real. It's in production, and it marks the biggest step forward in U.S. air power since the F-22 Raptor left the line roughly 20 years ago. Today, we're breaking down everything we actually know about this game-changing jet. The deal that flipped the script. On March 21, 2025, President Trump took the podium with news that rocked the defense world. Boeing gets the nod. After a hard-fought contest among America's top aerospace primes, the Air Force awards the Next Generation Air Dominance platform to Boeing, north of $20 billion, the biggest fighter development effort in a generation. Lockheed Martin, maker of the F-22 and F-35, didn't win. Boeing did. At Boeing's St. Louis site, workers exploded with cheers. These weren't just folks clocking in for a paycheck. They were Americans set to build something extraordinary for their country. Air Force Chief of Staff General David Allvin nailed it. These are people committed to doing something great for the nation, and that commitment is already paying off. And building the first test jet. Usually, programs like this take years to ramp up. Not this one. The urgency is real, and Boeing's moving fast. But rewind for a moment. How did we end up here? This trail begins in 2014. DARPA kicked off the Air Dominance Initiative. They posed a hard question. How do we keep air superiority in 2030 and beyond? Because the threat landscape was shifting, Russia was upgrading, China was pouring billions into its military, and America's F-22 fleet, phenomenal as it is, was getting older. So DARPA pushed into experimental platforms, X-planes, full-scale testbeds built to prove breakthrough tech. And here's the twist. Boeing had a demonstrator in the air in 2019, before most people even knew this program was real. By 2023, 3 different prototypes had racked up hundreds of flight hours, testing, tuning, validating the ideas. In July 2024, Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall slammed pause. Each F-47 was pegged near $300 million, about triple an F-35. The program drifted in limbo for months. Then, China simplified the choice. In December 2024, Beijing rolled out not 1 but 2 stealth fighter prototypes. 6th-generation designs, advanced and threatening. Suddenly, freezing NGAD didn't look so smart. The Air Force ran another review, and the conclusion was blunt. There was no viable alternative. If America wanted to keep air dominance, the F-47 was the answer. So in March 2025, the Trump administration gave it the green light. If you're proud of American innovation and our drive to stay ahead, type proud below. Why does the F-47 qualify as a 6th-generation jet? So, what exactly defines a 6th-gen platform? What sets it apart from the superb 5th-gen aircraft already in service? It isn't only about more speed or deeper stealth. It's about rewriting the rules of air combat. The F-47 isn't merely a fighter. It serves as the brain of a full battlefield network. First up, range. An F-22 Raptor reaches roughly 590 nautical miles on a combat radius. Solid, but across the Pacific's vast distances, that's tight. The F-47 flips that math. Over 1,000 nautical miles of combat radius, nearly twice the F-22. That lets it push deeper into hostile territory. stay on station longer, and do it without leaning on tankers every hour. Second, stealth. The F-47 moves the bar again. We're talking all-aspect, broadband, low observability. Most stealth jets are tuned mainly for radar threats. This one tackles the whole picture. Advanced thermal management in the engines sheds heat. It isn't only hidden from radar, it's a ghost across the entire electromagnetic spectrum. Third, speed and power. The F-47 rides next-generation adaptive cycle engines, either General Electric's XA-102 or Pratt & Whitney's XA-103. These aren't typical jet engines. They can dynamically change how airflow moves through them in flight. Need maximum thrust for a fight? They adapt. Need top fuel efficiency for cruise? They adapt again. Net result, better performance, longer range, and supercruise above Mach 2 without afterburners. Now here's where it gets interesting. The F-47 isn't meant to fight alone. It quarterbacks a broader family of systems that includes collaborative combat aircraft (CCAs). These are advanced, semi-autonomous drones, loyal wingmen. The roadmap envisions roughly 185 F-47's and more than 1,000 CCAs. Let that sink in. Each crewed fighter directing multiple unmanned partners. Those airframes can haul weapons, sensors, and electronic warfare payloads. They spread into high-risk zones, and they're far cheaper to build. The F-47 pilot becomes more than a stick and rudder ace. They serve as mission commanders, synchronizing a coordinated strike. Its sensor fusion brain will set a new benchmark. Fusing its own sensor feeds with inputs from satellites, other aircraft, and those loyal wingmen. It builds a complete battlespace picture, then acts on it with crushing precision. Do you think drones will ever completely replace human pilots in air combat? Drop your take in the comments. The secret tests and rapid ramp-up. Here's something that should blow your mind. When President Trump announced Boeing's contract win in March 2025, General Alvin revealed a stunner. Two competing prototypes had been flying covertly for 5 years. Since 2020, as the world battled a pandemic, Boeing and Lockheed quietly tested 6th-generation concepts, hundreds of flight hours under tight secrecy. That's the power of classified programs done right. The Air Force leaned on digital engineering. Rather than spend decades on paper designs and endless reviews, they built real aircraft, flew them, gathered data, and iterated. That's how you innovate at the speed of relevance and how Boeing could start manufacturing just 6 months after winning the award. General Alvin, at the Air Force Association conference in September 2025, laid it out plainly. The timeline wasn't fuzzy. The first production, F-47, is slated to fly in 2028. Not maybe, not hopefully will. The team is all in because the threat is real and immediate. China's target window to be ready for a Taiwan move is 2027. Xi Jinping wants his forces prepared for that contingency, and America must be ready. So, Boeing is moving fast. Their St. Louis site has been overhauled. Almost $2 billion invested in recent years. Brand new manufacturing equipment. This isn't a company merely hoping to land a contract. This was a company preparing to win it. And that preparation is paying off now. The engineering hurdles are massive. Carbon nanotube composites that cut weight. Radar-absorbent materials that may even self-heal. Avionics that crunch more data per second than whole fighter squadrons managed a generation ago. And every piece must mesh flawlessly in the harshest arena imaginable combat. But the builders are absolutely up to it. Watch the Boeing plant clips from announcement day, and you'll notice something rare. They know they're not just assembling another jet, they're shaping the future of American air power. That isn't corporate spin. That's real American spirit. And it's thriving in St. Louis. Why this matter more than ever right now? Zoom out for a second. Why does the F-47 matter this much? The answer is stark and simple. The world is more dangerous than it's been in decades. Great power rivalry is back. Air superiority underpins everything the US military does. Without owning the sky, you can't shield your bombers. The B-21 Raider needs fighters to open the lane. Without air dominance, your fleet can't stay safe. Carrier strike groups become exposed. Without control of the sky, you can't shield soldiers on the ground. Modern warfare collapses without air overmatch. Here's the catch. America's current air superiority thoroughbred is the F-22. It's phenomenal, but only 186 exist and they're aging. The earliest jets entered service in 2005. Fatigue cracks and obsolescent avionics demand attention. That's 2 decades ago. A generation in fighter life cycles. They weren't built for the threats of 2030 and beyond. AI swarms, quantum computing, and space-based sensors changed the game. China hasn't stood still. Reverse engineering and indigenous innovation accelerate catches. Its J-20 stealth fighter is operational. With WS-15 engines enabling supercruise and improved kinematics, they're building them in substantial numbers. Production lines in Chengdu churn out variants tailored for different roles. A new 6th-generation prototype signals they're serious about contesting American dominance. Mock dogfights and exercises pitted against simulated U.S. assets. Russia fields the Su-57. Though plagued by delays, exports to allies proliferate technology. The gap the United States once enjoyed is tightening. From decades to years in some metrics, the F-47 restores that margin, re-establishing asymmetry through integration and innovation. It gives America the capability that no one else will field for years, buying time for allies to align and adversaries to reconsider. That isn't warmongering. That's deterrence. Credible forces prevent wars more effectively than diplomacy alone. When rivals know they can't win the airfight, they're less likely to roll the dice. Calculations shift from opportunity to risk. Peace through strength isn't a catchphrase. Reagan-era investments ended the Cold War without direct clashes. It's a proven approach, and there's an economic angle. Defense spending recirculates domestically, fueling growth. The F-47 program will hire thousands of Americans, engineers, technicians, manufacturers, from PhDs in plasma physics to welders certified in exotic alloys. It will catalyze advances in materials, science, propulsion, electronics, and artificial intelligence. Spin-offs include lighter EVs, efficient turbines, and secure comms. Those breakthroughs will spill over into civilian tech. This is how America keeps its technological edge across the board, sustaining leadership in STEM and manufacturing. Allies are paying attention too. Reassurance strengthens coalitions. Japan, Australia, South Korea. Participants in exercises like Pitch Black and Red Flag. These partners rely on U.S. air power as the backbone of regional security. Extended deterrence commitments hinge on capability. When they see the F-47 advancing, it reassures them, signaling commitment amid domestic political debates. It tightens alliances. Through co-development opportunities and data sharing, it makes collective defense feel more credible. Interoperability standards ensure seamless operations. For our veterans and aviation fans watching, you know exactly why this matters. You've lived the missions that demand the best tools. Your support and your voice across American communities helps sustain the political will to finish this mission. Advocacy counters isolationist trends. What do you see as the F-47's biggest edge over rival fighters? Vote and debate in the comments. Pure speed, deep stealth, or drone control? Or perhaps human-AI synergy? Tell us below in the comments. The road to 2028 and beyond? A phased approach builds confidence incrementally. So, what's next? Milestone tracking via dashboards is accessible to cleared stakeholders. At this moment, Boeing teams are laying composite skins, fitting systems, and building the first test airframe piece by piece. Layers of carbon epoxy cure in autoclaves the size of houses. It's painstaking work, with quality checks at every step. Non-destructive inspection using ultrasonics and thermography verifies integrity. Over the next year, that first jet will take shape. Subassemblies mate in a ceremonial wing join event. By 2026, it should be structurally complete. Static load tests bend wings to 150% design limits. Next comes systems integration, avionics, the lot. Thousands of miles of wiring and fiber optics snake through the fuselage. Then we move to ground tests. Engine runs, validate thrust and vibration harmonics. Does everything power up cleanly? BIT, built-in test. Suites flag anomalies instantly. Do all the systems talk to each other? Bus traffic simulations ensure no latency on critical paths. After that, taxi trials begin. High-speed runs on runways, calibrate brakes and nose wheel steering. The aircraft rolls under its own power to verify everything works. Emergency scenarios like engine out are rehearsed. And finally, first flight in 2028. A chase plane shadows, relaying telemetry in real time. A test pilot will lift the F-47 into the sky for the first time. Envelope starts conservative. Gear down, low speed, basic handling. That milestone will be huge. Broadcast, sanitized, to inspire the next generation of aviators. It will signal to allies and rivals alike. A tangible manifestation of resolve. America's sixth-generation fighter is real. No longer renders or rumors. It flies, and it's on the way. With production scaling to meet fleet requirements, after that, the test campaign ramps up. From Edwards AFB to Eglin, diverse climates stress the airframe. Additional jets join the fleet. Dedicated test articles for weapons, EW, and CCA integration. They push the performance envelope. Supersonic dives, high-G turns, and off-boresight missile shots. They'll test weapons integration. From hypersonic missiles to laser pods, compatibility is key. They'll test stealth. Anechoic chambers and open-air ranges measure signatures. They'll test the drone control systems. Manned-unmanned teaming exercises with surrogate CCAs validate concepts. By 2029, if all goes to plan, the first operational F-47's could start arriving at Air Force squadrons. Nellis or Langley likely host the first units. Initial operational capability, meaning combat-ready in limited scenarios. Units can begin training, shaping tactics, learning how to maximize its potential, and over time, the fleet will expand. Engines, materials, and software baseline shared to cut costs. That's smart acquisition, avoiding stovepipes that plagued tri-service efforts. Challenges remain. No program is immune to Murphy's Law. Cost control, development risk, supply chain friction. Global dependencies on semiconductors and rare earths pose vulnerabilities, but America has cleared tougher hurdles. History proves resilience under pressure. We ran the Manhattan Project in secret during World War II, mobilizing science to end a global conflict. We reached the moon in a single decade. From Mercury to Apollo, audacious goals were met. We invented stealth when it looked impossible. Have blew to F-117 in under a decade. The F-47 writes the next chapter in that tradition, pushing boundaries for security and prosperity. What's your favorite aircraft from any era? From Spitfire to SR-71, icons inspire. Post it below, and let's see which jet gets the most love. Polls reveal community passions. The F-47 stands for more than breakthrough hardware. It's a symbol of excellence. It embodies American resolve, the drive to remain the world's premier air power, and a commitment to protect our troops, our allies, and our interests. Safeguarding the skies that enable freedom. Production is underway. Lines humming with purpose. First flight is about 3 years out, and by 2030, the F-47 will reshape the calculus for anyone who thinks they can challenge us in the skies. Deterring by denial, winning without fighting. The future of air dominance is being forged right now in St. Louis, a beacon of innovation in the heartland. If this breakdown delivered value, hit like and subscribe to Tech of War for more on America's military edge. Join thousands staying informed. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.